Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys of Magic. This is Hunter and Shane. Say what up, Shane.
Sup, nerds?
We are back this time. We are taking a look at another spoiler season. I feel like these are happening at a crazy rate, but we are going through another set, the announcement today of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We've got quite the amount of spoilers to talk about, but I am so excited. Ixalan has always been one of my favorite planes. What do you think, Shane?
I wonder why, dude. Is it something called, like, dinos?
I love me some dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's a really fun plane, dude. I'm excited to get back to it as well.
So let's go ahead and kick it off with the Planeswalker they announced today. That is the only Planeswalker in the entire set. That is Quintorius Kand. It is 3, a red and a white for a starting loyalty of 4. It has a static ability that says whenever you cast a spell from exile, Quintorius Kand deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. It has a +1 ability that says create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token, a -3 of Discover 4, new mechanic, and a -6 that says exile any number of target cards from your graveyard. Add red for each card exiled this way. You may play those cards this turn. Now you might be thinking to yourself, wait, what is Discover? I'll tell you real quick. So, for example, this is Discover 4. It's basically Cascade with a number already attached to it. So you're going to exile the top of your library until you hit a non-land card that is mana value 4 or less. And you may play that card, or you can put it into your hand. And then the rest go on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, yeah, that's Discover. And this is Quintorius Kand. What do you think, Shane?
I think this card would go great in my new Doctor Who deck. This card's really sick for anything playing out of exile.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. I think this pumps up a lot of the exile strategies. There is a Boros exile deck in standard right now, which I think this slides perfectly into. I think the +1 to make a 3/2 is really good. I feel like a +1 is usually like making a 1/1 or maybe a 2/2, but a 3/2. Do we have power creep here? I mean, it is 5 mana for this, but I like this card.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool.
Yeah, Quintorius, welcome to the Planeswalkers.
Finally got a spark.
Speaking of sparks, we have one that lost one. Saheeli, the Sun's Brilliance. It is a blue and a red for a 2/2 legendary creature human artificer. You can pay a blue and a red, tap it, create a token that's a copy of another target creature or artifact you control, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. Simple to the point, but very, very powerful.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some kind of way to break this, right? That ability to copy something. And then, of course, you can use those dumb cards like Steven loves Sundial. Just never have to exile them.
It's
Or
true.
sacrifice them, sorry, not exile.
Yeah, for your end step. Uh, yeah, this is wild. I mean, you're right. You could probably break this by untapping it, tapping it, untapping it, tapping it, and finding an infinite mana source. They make a whole bunch of armies of tokens, and they all have haste, and you swing and you win. But I think they tried to limit that by making it 2 colors for the ability, because it's a lot easier to make 1 color mana, right?
Infinitely, you mean? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Still a
But
pretty cool card, though. I like it.
oh, this is a really cool card. Sun's Brilliance.
Super brilliant.
Moving on to Abuelo, Ancestral Echo. It is 1, a white and a blue for a 2/2 legendary creature spirit. Got flying and ward 2. Has an ability you can pay 1, a white and a blue. Exile another target creature or artifact you control. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Shane, this is a spirit.
Yeah, man, I was waiting for that. I haven't been a spirit guy in a while, but Flicker Spirits, dude, love it.
Flicker Spirits. This card is really, really good.
It is, yeah. You can use it as a protection to, since you can do that instant speed, dude. Just, oh, you're gonna target my spirit or target anything? No, you're not.
No, you're not. You want to get rid of this? You got to pay the extra ward on top of it too.
Yeah, this could be, this could be
This
a
is
good card.
bonkers. Mm.
I know we're not talking about commanders yet, but this could be a fun commander.
Yeah, being a legendary, it's seems like it would make a good spirit deck. I don't know if you'd replace it with any of the spirits that are currently active. Same
Yeah, maybe
color
this goes in one.
combination, but Really good card.
Exactly.
Old grandfather, Abuelo. Moving on to a familiar face, we have Vito, Fanatic of Aclazotz. It is 2, a white and a black for a 4/4 legendary creature, Vampire Demon. It's got flying. It says whenever you sacrifice another permanent, you gain 2 life if this is the first time this ability is resolved this turn. If it's the second time, each opponent loses 2 life. If it's the third time, create a 4/3 white and black Vampire Demon creature token with flying. I think we're getting the vampires demon kind of thing going with Ixalan here. It's very interesting.
Yeah, dude, love it. We also know that we think David might like this card.
I think David would like this card. Very easy to trigger all those modes every turn.
Very true.
Uh,
Kind of like reminiscent of the Galadriel we just saw Steven play. You do something 1, 2, and 3.
yeah, exactly that. I mean, granted, those modes you got to choose from, but
Yeah, very true.
you have to do these in order. Uh, there was a mention of if you use a fetch land, you're paying 1 life. No, you're actually just gaining 1 life.
There you go.
Perfect.
We broke fetch land, dude.
Yeah, dude, fetches are broken. Thanks, Vito. But no, I like this card a lot. I think this is going to see play in standard.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I can see that for sure. Maybe they can make a vampire demon deck, dude.
That's a possibility. There is a lot of cool vampires in standard still, with Innistrad still being in standard.
Which is wild.
Yeah, it is really wild. Moving on to Ojer Deepest Foundation. It is 4 and 2 white for a 6/6 legendary creature, God. It's got Vigilance. It says if 1 or more creature tokens would be created under your control, 3 times that many of those tokens are created instead. When Ojer dies, return it to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control. When it is transformed, it turns into Temple of Civilization. It is a land that you can tap to add a white, and you can also pay 2 and a white to tap it. Transform Temple of Civilization. Activate only if you attack with 3 or more creatures this turn, and only as a sorcery. I think this card is nuts.
I'm a big fan of this god.
Yeah, the gods are really cool so far. We've seen the red one a couple of weeks ago, and now this one. I'm excited to see the whole cycle. But
Dude,
so
3 or
far,
more?
they're really good.
That and 3 times the amount, they're like, holy moly.
Yeah. You're making a 1/1, you're making 3 1/1s.
Is that because it has 3 faces? It's kind of cool. Can't really see in the art.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bonkers card, dude.
I think this card will be very expensive when it comes to actual money-wise. Uh, any effect like that is making triple the amount of tokens.
Yeah. Can you imagine this
Granted,
with a Mondrak and a freaking
Anointed Procession, yeah.
thank you, yeah.
It would pop off pretty crazy if you had all 3 on the field. Granted, this only does do creatures, so it doesn't do all tokens.
Very, very true.
But still, you'll get that board state very quickly with this in the field. Just got to protect it. And even if it does die, you can still bring it back.
Yeah, this is a crazy card.
Next up, we got a new man land. This is Restless Prairie. It is a land that enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it to add a green or white. You can pay 2 a green and a white. Restless Prairie becomes a 3/3 green and white llama creature until end of turn. It's still a land. When Restless Prairie attacks other creatures you control, get +1/+1 until end of turn. I think this land is amazing.
Dude, I was listening to you read it. I was just staring at the land the entire time going, is that a llama? And then you said llama. I was like, holy shit, it's a llama.
Yeah, it is llama land. Get it?
That's hilarious, dude. Yeah, this card's nuts, dude.
Yeah, pumping the team up when this attacks.
Yeah.
That is called a finisher, everybody.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah. This is gonna see some play in standard.
For
There's gonna be
sure,
some
for sure.
crazy. I'm already seeing it with the cards we've seen. Selesnya, a little bit of tokens. It's gonna go
A little bit,
wide.
yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit like 3 times the amount. Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, just a little bit. But no, they said they are finishing the Restless Manland cycle. We had the first 5 in the last set, written the last 5 in this set. So excited to see what else they got. Moving on to Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel. It's 1 and a blue for a 2/1 legendary creature, Siren Pirate. It's got flash. It's got flying. It says whenever Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel, deals combat damage to a player, put a chorus counter on it. Draw a card, then discard a card. If there are 4 or more chorus counters on Malcolm, you may cast the discarded card without paying its mana cost.
That's nuts, dude.
It's a very powerful ability.
That's nuts. Are they just only showing really powerful cards day one or something?
They tend to do that.
Yeah.
Gets people hyped for the set.
Well, it's working.
It's working. Malcolm, I like you.
I mean, I just love getting free spells.
Yeah, and we've just seen, I mean, we're still in the kind of the March of the Machine aftermath, but with all the March of the Machine and All Will Be One, we had a ton of ways to proliferate. So if this gets one chorus counter on it, it's pretty easy to go ahead and pump it up with more chorus counters.
Yeah. It's got the evasion of flying too, so it'll be a little harder to block. But that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, like you said, the evasion there, the only downside, you're right, is that it has to connect.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true.
but cheating out giant things. Uh-oh, I discarded an Atraxa. It comes in the field.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you get 4 counters on this thing, there's just no downside to it because you're drawing a card and then casting some crazy thing you discard. This card could be nuts, dude.
You're able to flash it in on your opponent's end step. So
Hell yeah.
next up, we have Souls of the Lost. Souls of the Lost is 1 out of black for a star +1. The creature spirit. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card or sacrifice a permanent. It's got Fathomless Descent. Soul of the Lost's power is equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. So we have a new keyword here. It's called Descend or Descent. Basically, it is dealing with cards in the graveyard. We'll see some more of those later, but this is the first card that kind of shows it. So, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Souls McGoyf, dude.
Souls McGoyf. I like it.
I just coined that right now.
Souls
Anyone
McGoyf.
says that after me, they copied me.
Souls McGoyf here. I like it. Yeah. But this might be even better than the old Tarmogoyf because this just grows for however many permanents. Tarmogoyf was stapled down to how many
Permanent
card
types, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I know, dude. You said earlier about power creep. This is power creep.
Mono black though. So
True. Very true. This will, I think, see play in standard. Just it's gonna be so easy to make it huge, dude. Just cares about permanence, not even like we've seen it care about only creatures, and then you mentioned the OG Goyf cared about like different types. This is just like whatever's in your graveyard.
yeah, that's true. I mean, but the downside is you have to have all your stuff in the graveyard.
True. Which you can do.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. We'll see if Souls Goyf? What is that what you said? Souls Goyf?
Souls. I forgot what I said now. I coined it and then forgot it.
You said
I
Souls.
think it was Souls Goyf. Yeah.
Souls Goyf, we'll see if you see play. Next up, another flip card. This is the Everflowing Well. It is 2 and a blue for a legendary artifact. It says when the Everflowing Well enters the battlefield, mill 2 cards, then draw 2 cards. It's got Descend of 8, which means at the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, transform the Everflowing Well. It transforms into the Myriad Pools. It's a legendary artifact land that can tap for a blue. It also has an ability where it says, whenever you cast a permanent spell using mana produced by the Myriad Pools, up to 1 other target permanent you control becomes a copy of that spell until end of turn.
That's cool.
Right?
Yeah. There's that descend keyword you talked about.
Yeah, that is the descend keyword there. We are descending into the graveyard. We got to get 8 of those cards in the graveyard. Always permanents, though.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, this is a powerful land if you get it flipped. Copying spells is always good.
Yeah, good card seems good, dude. I like it.
Good card seems good indeed. Move on to another blue artifact. This is the Enigma Jewel. It is just 1 blue mana for a legendary artifact. It says it enters the battlefield tapped. You can also tap it to give yourself 2 colorless mana. Spend this mana only to activate abilities. It also says craft with 4 or more non-land cards with activated abilities, 8 and a blue. What does that mean? Well, you pay 8 and a blue, exile this artifact, exile 4 or more from among other permanents you control and or cards in your graveyard. Return this card transformed under its owner's control Craft only as a sorcery. Once it's crafted, it turns into Locus of Enlightenment. It is a legendary artifact that says it has each activated ability of exiled cards used to craft it. You may activate each of those abilities only once each turn, and whenever you activate an ability that isn't a mana ability, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy.
I think they
This
learned.
is a lot.
Yeah, I think they learned their lesson from Soul's Cauldron, dude.
Already?
I mean, they probably. I mean, obviously they didn't, but this seems like a much like. There's no infiniteness going on here, which is nice.
Yeah, activate it only once each turn is rough. Um, I don't know. I don't know if this card's good. Paying 9 mana and getting rid of
Yeah.
4 permanents is so much.
Well, granted, they could be things that already died in your graveyard. They don't have to
Yeah,
be on your battlefield.
and you're also tapping this, I assume, to pay for some of that mana, so you're still paying 7 extra mana, which I still think is way too much.
Yeah, that's a ton. So like you almost need it to go infinite, which it can't. So like I don't know. I don't know what you're doing with this card yet, honestly.
If I'm the player and I watch my opponent do this trick, I'll go, whoa, that's really cool, and then blow up Locust of Enlightenment.
Best
So
case scenario, you like blows up stuff on his board too. You're like, all right, have fun.
yeah, you just exiled all those cards, and now this is gone. So they're just gone forever. Isn't that cool?
It's so cool, dude.
Enigma
I will.
Jewel is weird.
I was gonna say too. I think that it's really cool that if you're a fan of the game Path of Exile, it reminds me of a Chaos Orb. So any Path of Exile fans, they'll get the reference.
Next up, Jadelight Spelunker. Jadelight Spelunker is X and a green for a 1/1 creature Merfolk Scout. It says when it enters the battlefield, it explores X times. That's right, explore is the keyword that is coming back to Ixalan. Just as a reminder, to have it explore, reveal the top card of your library, put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, then put the card back, or put it into your graveyard. A fun mechanic.
Yeah, man. What can go wrong with exploring X, dude? Nothing, right?
What could go wrong? Nothing at all. We'll see if there is something wrong.
I
I
mean,
think
you
this will
might go.
still play in standard though.
Yeah, dude. Rip off a bunch of lands from the top of your library. That'd be great. I like this card because it could be utilized at any stage of the game too.
Yeah, you really because it allows you to dig so deep too,
Yep.
Benson.
Yep.
And that's kind of the reference here. Look at him go down it. He's going deeper.
How far are you gonna spelunk this time, dude?
Spelunk. Jadelight Spelunker. Pretty good card. Next up, a card that you really like, Shane. This is Hit the Mother Lode. It's 4 and 3 red for a sorcery. Discover 10. If the discovered card mana value is less than 10, create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to the difference.
I think the reason why I like this card so much, Hunter, is because I still got Doctor Who on my brain. That deck I made that's all caring about big spells. So yeah, I'm gonna cast this, and I'm gonna hopefully rip something really big off my deck, cast it for free, and then in the chance that I don't get something big, I know you mentioned that like, oh, you can get a 2-drop. I'll just make a bunch of treasure. So it seemed like there was a less whip potential, but it's still a lot of mana, and it could do nothing. So
Yeah, and I think that making the treasure helps this card obviously a lot. Because if it just said Cascade, like for 7 mana, I'd be like, that's risky. But
yeah,
for 7 mana, you're discovering 10. Like you said, if you hit that mana rock for 2, you are getting 8 treasures because of the difference. So it's kind of like an incentive of, sorry you lost, but you also kind of won.
yeah, but they're tapped, man. I know back in the day they were talking about like, how are we gonna fix treasure? Having them come in tap, blah blah blah. I don't know if I like them coming in tap, dude.
Yeah, who knows? In the future, there could be an errata that says whenever a treasure enters, it has to come in tapped just
That
because
would
treasure
suck.
is so good.
I know it is good. It's like you can't take away our toys, dude. All right, anyway, sorry.
Can't take away our treasures. Yeah, but hit the Mother Lode. Interesting card. I don't know if this
I'll
will
say
play
interesting.
personally, but yeah.
I think the discover mechanic is going to be nuts, dude.
I think
I'll
Discover is
just
fantastic.
yeah. I think
Just
it's going to be
ability,
nuts.
yeah, the ability to go ahead and just put it into your hand if it's something like a combat trick where you're like, oh, I wish I didn't have to cast that. Guess what? You don't have to. Just put it in
Yep.
your hand.
Yep.
Moving on to the Mycotyrant. It is 1 a black and a green for a star legendary creature, Elder Fungus. It's got trample. It says the Mycotyrant's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control that are fungi and or saplings. And at the beginning of your end step, create X 1/1 black fungus creature tokens with this creature can't block, where X is the number of times you descended this turn. Once again, you descend each time a permanent card is put into your graveyard from anywhere.
This card could be thick, dude, in EDH. I know we're not talking about that yet, but oh my god.
Yeah,
My brain goes straight to Dredge, dude.
expect our whole analysis with the other guys of the commander grades when we wrap that
Yep.
up.
Yep.
But you are correct. This is a really fun one.
Yeah, I wanna talk to David and Steven now about like, will Dredge be good with this card? Because I think it'll be great with this card.
Yeah, I think so too. This card is bonkers. I like making a bunch of tokens, and that's what this is going to do.
In standard, I don't know how reliably you can descend, quote unquote, meaning put stuff into your graveyard, but I mean, you could probably mill yourself, I guess.
Not even have to mill. Like if you have a sack outlet, just go ahead and
That's true
sack
too.
stuff. Stack little tokens. You can even sack these little guys. Granted, you're just getting a 1-for-1 rate if you're sacking these things, but
Yeah,
if
that's
you
true.
have an ETB trigger, something like that.
It's a good point to make that like even if they're tokens, they might not stay in your graveyard, but they will hit the graveyard.
hmm Next up, another artifact. This is the Throne of the Grim Captain. It is 2 generic mana for a legendary artifact. You can tap it, mill 2 cards. You can craft with a dinosaur, a merfolk, a pirate, and a vampire for 4 mana. When it's crafted, it turns into the Grim Captain. It is a 7/7 legendary creature, skeleton spirit pirate. It's got menace, trample, lifelink, and hexproof, and says whenever the Grim Captain attacks, each opponent sacrifices a non-land permanent. Then you may put an exiled creature card used to craft the Grim Captain onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking.
What the hell is this, dude?
We're crafting dinosaur, merfolk, pirate, vampire. All the typals that are in this set, we're just gonna put them together.
Like that's hilarious. If you
I
could
think
pull that off, dude, kudos, bro.
yeah, you are getting rid of, because I feel like if you're getting rid of a dinosaur, dinosaurs are normally pretty big. So I get that it's turning into a 7/7, but do you really want to sacrifice all 4 of those? I mean, you
Well, I'm gonna
can
stop you right
sacrifice
there, Hunter.
huh?
They're gonna be already in my graveyard because they're gonna be dead. I'm not sacrificing any of my things.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna let them die. They live their life. Then I'm gonna bring them back from the graveyard. I feel like
Right.
you should not be ever crafting with things on your battlefield.
Well, you could. You're just
I know you could.
exiling all of them. So they're not technically going to the graveyard. You can pull them from the graveyard, but they're being
That's what I mean.
exiled. But when this attacks, you can bring them back, which is pretty cool.
That is true.
You don't get a lot of bring back things from exile.
Too bad this is an artifact and not like a creature of some sort, because that would be a fun commander.
Yeah. But hey, an artifact that just taps to mill 2 cards.
Yeah, there you go, Steven. There you go, bud.
Next up, we have a dinosaur dragon. This is Bonehoard Dracosaur. 3 and 2 red for a 5/5 creature dinosaur dragon. It's got flying and first strike and says at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. If you exile the land card this way, create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. If you exile the non-land card this way, create a treasure token. That's a lot of value.
That is a lot of value.
It's
Wow.
it's pretty crazy. At the beginning of your upkeep, you exile 2 cards and you can play them. Oh, by the way, those exiled cards also trigger off this. That is nuts.
Yeah, this is a really cool card, dude. You putting this in like a mono red deck in standard?
Good
It's a little
possibility.
heavy. A little heavy, but I could see it.
The value is so good.
Yeah, very good.
That,
I mean, even the 3/1 statted aggressively. Let's go, dude.
I mean, hey, I told you there was a Boros exile deck. This is going to slide into that. Quintorius, go ahead and put this with that. Yeah, real good.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, we're going in circles saying it's real cool, but
It's a dinosaur dragon, man.
well, I knew you were gonna love it. It's damn dinosaur. I like dragons, so I'm on board.
Together we are one.
Wonder Twin powers. Let's go,
Dracosaur.
dude. I just realized the name too. Oh my god, it's so original, bro.
Let's move on. This is the bringer of the last gift. It's 6 and 2 black for a 6/6 creature vampire demon. Got flying. It says when bringer of the last gift enters the battlefield, if you cast it, each player sacrifices all other creatures they control. Then each player returns all creature cards from their graveyard that weren't put there this way to the battlefield.
What?
Yep. You're going to pay 8 mana, you're going to kill everything, but also bring everything that was already dead back.
What? I'm kind of sad, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I was while you were reading this, I was like, yes, yes, and then it's like if you cast it, I'm like, no. I was gonna put this in Kalia, dude, but never mind.
Yep. So if you cast it, you got to spend that 8 mana.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I get it. You're gonna kill everything, but like, dude, what if their graveyards are crazier?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're running this, no one's running this in EDH because that would be really dumb to bring back everybody's stuff. Like, surprise! You can have your stuff back for me spending 8 mana.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this. Love the name, love the flavor, but like, I don't know. I'm not here. I'm not here
I
for it.
mean, flip side, you could have the coolest stuff in the graveyard.
I would hope you do if you play this card.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on to Cosmium Confluence. It is 4 and a green for a sorcery. It says choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. You can search your library for a cave card, put that on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. Or you could put 3+1/+1 counters on a cave you control. It becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. Or you could destroy target enchantment. These new cave cards, we're not really going to talk about them because they are common and uncommon. They're just basically lands that do a little ability. So, if you
They're
guys
just
want
lands
to
that let you do the discoverability, yeah.
exactly those new cave cycle. If you guys wanted to see those, check our Instagram. That's at Guys at Magic. We post all of the commons and uncommons, including all the rares and mythics that we talk about in the videos. But if you wanted to see all the cards, follow us on that. But this card, I don't know.
Seems a little underwhelming. I don't know. This just seems like something I play unlimited.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going against someone that's running enchantments, it'd be pretty mean. Be like, oh, I'm going to destroy 3 enchantments for 5 mana.
I guess that's true.
Or you could put 9 counters on a land.
Make it a real not just any land, it's gotta be a cave.
Gotta be a cave. Make it a 9/9 cave.
It's a big
Yeah,
cave.
I don't know. Next up, Intrepid Paleontologist. It's 1 and a green for a 2/2 creature human druid. You can tap it to add 1 mana of any color, and you can pay 2, exile target card from a graveyard. Also, you may cast dinosaur creature spells from among cards you own, exiled with Intrepid Paleontologist. If you cast a spell this way, that creature enters the battlefield with a finality counter on it. What is a finality counter? Well, if a creature with a finality counter on it would die, exile it instead.
This is going straight in your dino deck, dude.
Yeah, it's a really good card.
This is going straight in there.
You can also run this card in a dinosaur deck with Glissa, and then have Glissa do damage to remove counters. That'd be cool.
Oh, that would be cool, actually.
So you can keep the dinosaurs forever.
I mean, this just does so much for you, dude.
This is finality counters. It's a new way. Instead of saying if this creature would die, it just exiled instead.
Yeah,
This
fewer words.
is getting rid of not fewer words, but this is getting rid of the possibility to not have that happen every time because it's a counter.
Oh, got it. Yeah, dude, put this in Parry the Pulverizer.
Yeah, a new type of counter. You're right.
Nah, just put it in your dino deck. Have fun.
Have fun. Go wild. Yeah, I like this. Good dino support. and a mana rock, mana dork.
Mana dork, dude, and a good one.
Let's move on to some of the reprints that were in this set that are just kind of rares and mythics. First one, Growing Rites of Itlimoc. In case you don't remember what this card is, it's 2 and a green for legendary enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal the creature card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of any order. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 or more creatures, transform Growing Rites of Itlimoc. It turns into Itlimoc, Cradle of the Sun. You can tap it, add a green, or you can tap it, add a green for each creature you control. This was almost $20, so it is a much needed reprint. I'm glad we're
Nice.
seeing it reprinted here in Standard. I run this card personally in a lot of my ramp decks because it is so good.
I think a lot of these reprints were just going to say, good card, good. Glad to see it.
Good card, good. Glad to see this reprinted. Speaking of another one of my favorite cards, Gishath, Sun's Avatar. That's my baby. In case you don't remember Gishath, well, let me remind everybody. 5 red, green, white, 7/6 legendary creature dinosaur avatar. Vigilance, Trample, Haste. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put any number of dinosaur creature cards from among them onto the battlefield, then rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is a commander that I personally have been running ever since it was announced, way back in the day from the old Ixalan. And let me tell you, I love it.
Let me tell you, it's a menace.
New art here too, which is pretty cool.
You going to pick it up?
I have the secret layer art with the kind of the insides and outsides of Gishath, and I kind of like that one the best.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, hey, good card, good.
Good card, good. Glad to see it in Standard. And the final card that is a reprint is good old Treasure Map. It's 2 generic mana for an artifact. Pay 1, tap it, scry 1, put a landmark counter on Treasure Map. Then if there are 3 or more landmark counters on it, remove those counters, transform Treasure Map, and create 3 treasure tokens. When it's transformed, it turns into Treasure Cove. It's a land. You can tap it, add a colorless mana. You can also tap it, sacrifice a treasure, draw a card. Really good card. Good reprints.
Really good.
All
From
3
many
of
decks.
these. Yeah, all 3 of these, great reprints. They are fantastic in pretty much any deck, minus Gishath, obviously. But Treasure Map and Growing Rights, really awesome to put in anything because they transform into those lands that just gain so much value.
Hell yeah, dude.
Let's talk about some of the pre-con faces of each deck. First up, Admiral Brass Unsinkable. Admiral Brass Unsinkable is 2, a blue, a black, and a red for a 3/3 legendary creature human pirate. It says when it enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may return target pirate creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. It has base power and toughness 4/4. It gains haste until end of turn. This is the face commander of the Ahoy Mateys deck. I think it's pretty interesting. It's the mechanic of finality counters. So once again, we just talked about those. I think we should be able to remove them in some way. That'd be cool to see that in the deck itself. But pirates, we got pirate commander.
Arr.
Arr, what do you think of this card, Shane?
Arr. I think the last couple of cycles for precons, man, we keep seeing the same trope-ish where it's like, do something, bring a card back from your graveyard to the battlefield. And every time the deck that did that was nuts. So we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah, the finality counter is good though, because then you can't keep doing it, right?
True. A little more controlled.
Yeah. But again, I'll reiterate, if you can get rid of the finality counter somehow, then yeah, do that.
Yeah, this seems like a lot of fun. Recursion on pirates. Let's go, dude.
Let's go. Moving on to another face commander. This is Claveleno, first of the Blessed. It is 1, a white, and a black for a 2/2 legendary creature vampire cleric. It says whenever you attack, target attacking vampire that isn't a demon becomes a demon in addition to its other types. It gains when this creature dies. Draw a card and create a tapped 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. This is the commander to the deck that is called Blood Rites. Yeah, what do we think of this one, Shane?
Seems really cool, dude. Attack with smaller things if you, I mean, anything actually. Not even be small, but just all your things now get a death trigger. So they'll come back and it's like they'll just kind of replace themselves.
If you're making a bunch of little 1/1 vampires,
Yeah.
you can sacrifice them or something. Like
Yep.
I'm picturing this in my head. I'm picturing swinging in, get the attack trigger there, sacrifice them, or just have them die to blockers. I don't care. There's 1/1s, and then there are 4/3s now, and you draw a card.
Mm-hmm. I think that drawing a card is what is kind of doing it. Like, obviously, it's really cool to get that 4/3 body. I mean, okay, you know what? No, it's got flying too. That's really good. But drawing a
Yeah,
card on top of that too, you're like, okay, I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna target this creature. If you block this creature, I'm gonna draw a card. You sure you want to block? Card draws great in EDH, dude. So I like this card a lot.
yeah, this is a good one. Next up, Hackball of the Surging Soul. It is 2, a green and a blue for a 3/3 legendary creature, Merfolk Scout. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, each Merfolk creature you control explores. And whenever Hackball of the Surging Soul attacks, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield if you don't draw a card. The name of this deck that it is the face of is called Explorers of the Deep. So yeah, we got some Merfolk.
Seems crazy, dude. We know that Merfolk decks like to go wide, so I'm imagining on the beginning of your combat, dude, you're gonna explore like 6 times. It's gonna be
Yeah,
sick, dude.
the exploration is going to be nuts.
You should definitely, after exploring that many times, to have a land to put down. It's gonna be crazy, dude.
Yeah. I think this deck is going to be very powerful, and I'm excited to see it.
Dude, and if you don't put a land card down, you get to draw a card. Like, damn, there's a lot going on with this card.
Yeah, there is so much going on with this card. This is so good. You're gonna be putting a lot of counters. It's gonna be a lot of lands. Simic,
Yep.
baby.
Hell yeah, dude.
What's your favorite color combination?
Love it.
One of my favorite color combinations, and also favorite typals, is dinosaurs and Naya. That is right. Here's the final one. This is Pantlaza, Sun Favored. 2 red, green, white for a 4/4 legendary creature dinosaur. Says whenever Pantlaza, Sun Favored, or another dinosaur enters the battlefield under your control, you may discover X, where X is the creature's toughness. Do this only once each turn.
Dude, that basically just says your dinosaurs have Cascade.
The name of this deck is called Velociraptor.
Okay,
They
love it.
they got cute with the name there because he's kind of like a Velociraptor, but we're
I
ramping.
get, I get, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree, Shane. The Cascade thing. However, do that only once each turn. Oh,
Well, make sure that's not broken. Dog, can you imagine doing that every time? Holy moly.
it'd have been cool, man. A Gishath trigger, and then bang, all those dinosaurs come in, and then bang, 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 bang.
Yep, that's a lot of banging.
A lot of banging from Pantlaza, but there isn't because it only bangs one.
So I guess you're right. I guess it won't be as nuts as I thought, but that's still really cool, dude. I think Discover is gonna be really fun.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of broken. So yeah, those are the 4 commanders of the decks. We got dinosaurs, merfolk, vampires, and pirates. I'm excited to see them in
Me
action.
too. Me too.
Speaking of dinosaurs, though, let's talk about something that's being put into the set as well. That is Jurassic World cards. So we got some Jurassic World cards to talk about. This first one is Indoraptor, the perfect hybrid. It is 1, a blue or green, and a red for a 3/1 legendary creature dinosaur mutant. It's got Bloodthirst X, which means this creature enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the damage dealt to your opponents this turn. Got Menace, and it has Enrage, which means whenever Indoraptor, the perfect hybrid, is dealt damage, choose an opponent at random. Indoraptor deals a damage equal to its power to that player unless they sacrifice a non-token creature.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you can make it real big coming in with a bunch of counters depending on how much damage they took that turn. So let's just make up a number, say 5. So it comes in as an 8/6, right?
Right.
It's got Menace, and then when it is dealt damage, you're just going to be like, hey, just take 8 at random, opponent.
Unless you sacrifice a non-creature. Sorry.
Non-token creature.
Unless you sacrifice a non-token. Which is great, because a lot of people will be like, I'm just going to sacrifice my token. Nope.
Moving on to Ravenous Tyrannosaurus. 4 red, green, 6/6 creature dinosaur. Got Devour 3 as a reminder. It means as this enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with 3 times that many +1/+1 counters on it for each of those creatures. It also says whenever Ravenous Tyrannosaurus attacks, it deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 other target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead.
A lot going on here, dude.
Yeah, big scary dinosaur. I think the one complaint that I saw from everybody online about this is the OG from the original Jurassic Park, and you
Yeah.
can't make it legendary.
Oh, sad.
Yeah, why is it legendary?
Because that, I don't know.
Yeah. I agree, though. It should be legendary. As someone that likes the original Jurassic Park, yeah.
It's a bummer that doesn't have trample too. I get that the whole thing is about excess damage, but so it's kind of like trample, but not real. I guess it is kind of like trample.
So think about it like this. When this attacks, let's say you're attacking one opponent, and that opponent has just a 2/2 on the other side of the field. Let's say we devoured 2 creatures. So it's going to get 6 additional counters.
Okay.
So this is now a 12/12. So you're going to go ahead and attack player with a 2/2. But guess what? On attacks, this is going to deal damage equal to its power to that creature. So you're going to hit that, but we did 12 damage to it, which is an excess of 10. So we're hitting the opponent for 10 damage as well. That kills the creature, and we're attacking them, which means they're taking an additional 12.
Okay, that's a lot. Got it.
So if that player had a 2/2, they're taking 22 damage.
Hopefully they have more than a 2/2 then, because that could get nuts.
Yeah, this is a fun card. And this is probably gonna go in my dinosaur deck.
I hope so.
Yeah. It's a good card. Good card, good. Life finds a way. 2 and a green for an enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, populate. As a reminder, create a token that's a copy of a creature token you control.
So for this, you already have to have the token. So that's hopefully you already have a token on your field.
Yeah, you're gonna need a token first, obviously. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of token, but
Yeah, that's true.
preferably you want big tokens if you're trying to get power 4 or greater. Would be cool. But yeah, life does find a way.
It always does, man.
Moving on to another artifact. This is Dino DNA. It is 1 generic mana for an artifact. It's got imprint. For 1, you can tap it, exile target creature card from a graveyard, activate only as a sorcery. You can pay 6, create a token that's a copy of target creature card, exiled with Dino DNA, except it's a 6/6 green dinosaur creature with trample, activate only as a sorcery. Couple of those activate only as sorceries on there, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, there's your tokens you can copy with Life Finds a Way.
Hey, man. You can't be making dinosaurs at instant speed, all right? Slow it down.
Slow it down. These dinosaurs take time.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Perfect. I like it. What do you think of this card?
Seems really good. Seems like you can either target things in your graveyard or an opponent's graveyard, start making copies of things. It could be little things that just have really good ETBs. It could be little things that have cool abilities, and now they're going to get bigger too. That's really cool. Just seems like a pretty flexible card.
Yeah, for 1 mana, just to
Yeah.
put on the field at first. Yeah, that's
Granted, the
super
6
flexible.
is going to be a little more, but yeah. Cool, that doesn't go away though, too. You're not going to keep it, so that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Next up, Ellie and Alan, Paleontologists. It's 2, a green, a white, and a blue for a 2/5 legendary creature human scientist. As a ability, we could tap it, exile a creature card from your graveyard, discover X, where X is the mana value of the exiled card. Activate only as a sorcery. So we got the discover mechanic on a Jurassic Park card.
That seems really cool too.
Think it's powerful enough?
I mean, if you're not already utilizing your graveyard, like if you had no kind of recursion, sure. Now things that already died, you can you can basically cascade to get another big thing. Like if you already had your, I guess Gishath would be your commander, but say that T-Rex guy we just saw, he dies. Now you get to exile him out of your graveyard. Have discover, what was he, 7?
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't. I mean, if you're running this with the commander or something, the colors don't match up.
All right, sorry. Okay, so the cards of the matchup. I'm saying a big thing. I like the discover mechanic a lot, dude.
Yeah, doesn't even have to be dinosaurs either. You could just go ahead and exile anything. If you're running this into a giant creature matter deck, pretty good.
Yeah, I know. My brain just went to dinosaur because they're cleaning the dinosaur brain.
Yeah, they're taking a look at this dinosaur. Also a skull, not a brain, but I get what you mean.
Dude, it's late.
Let's move on to another card. It's called Don't Move. 3 and 2 white for sorcery. Destroy all tapped creatures until your next turn. Whenever a creature becomes tapped, destroy it. Don't move, Shane.
I like it.
I like this card a lot too. I had the exact same opinion as everybody on the internet. This is going into Hilda of the Icy Crown.
Ooh, that's annoying.
Destroy all tapped creatures, and then, hey man, I might just tap down your creatures and they just get destroyed until my next turn. It's pretty good.
There was a big missed opportunity, man. Why isn't the art the guy on the toilet?
Maybe they're saving that for another card. There's still time. And the final card we are talking about today from the Jurassic World / Lost Caverns of Ixalan set is Compy Swarm. Compy Swarm is 1 and black and a green creature dinosaur. It's at the beginning of your end step. If a creature died this turn, create a tapped token that's a copy of Compy Swarm.
Those little things are annoying, man.
It can get out of hand very quickly.
Yeah, they look. I think the flavor is on point, dude. Right? They're like nice and cute, and then there becomes a critical mass, and they go, "Oh shit!"
They multiply very quickly.
It's a cool card.
I like it a lot. Yeah, I think it'll see play. It'll see play in maybe we'll see play in some kind of Golgari zombies.
Ooh, scary Golgari zombie dinosaurs.
This just gets out of like a scoot swarm almost. Just multiplies so rapidly.
Yeah, crazy, dude.
Anything with swarm on it, terrifying. But that is gonna do it for us today. I hope you guys liked that video, long one, but it's day one. It's always the longest. Shane, what was your favorite card that we talked about today?
I think my favorite card's Souls McGoyf, dude. I made the name up. Seems like a cool card.
Souls McGoyf is your favorite. I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and say Bonehoard Dracosaur. That's my favorite card today. I think it's the value on that is too good. I like it a lot. But yeah, if you're watching this video, comment down below telling us what your favorite card was from today. Always interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already so you're not missing out on any of the other spoiler days. In the description, you will find links to our socials. That's Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. At Guys at Magic for each one, especially on Instagram. I said it in the video, but follow us on that too if you want to see every single spoiler, not just the rares and mythics we talk about today. And at the end of the spoiler season, we like to go ahead and talk about cards that you guys liked most on our Instagram that we didn't actually talk about in the videos. Be sure to check out our Instagram for that. Also in the description, Patreon. That's it. We did it. We made a Patreon. If you guys wanted to support us any more than you already are watching these videos, check that out. The link is in the description. And until the next video, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Bye.